Any second now. There we go. Welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast with your host Mikey, Tim, and the two Chris's. Today you're getting another Chris episode.
Holla!
If you like those or not, too bad. That's what you're getting.
That's right. You're stuck with us.
We need
And
to
I
figure out a
don't
new
even
day to
care.
record with Tim.
Yeah, because he's not at home. I don't know where he's doing. Is he
He's at
working
work.
again? Or
He works more Sundays a lot more now. So
yeah, we need to do a new.
and
We
then
need to get more involved.
Mikey's not feeling too good today. So,
Under the weather.
but anyways, we took it upon ourselves this week. Mikey watched about an hour of it and had to give up because it was this bad. But we took it upon ourselves, so you guys didn't have to watch it, to watch Malibu Express.
The Andy Sidaris Malibu Express. Which this is actually the first movie. We watched Hard Ticket to Hawaii last week, but this was his first movie. So this came out prior to Hard Ticket to Hawaii. So
None of the same
we thought,
characters, except for the boat.
was the boat the same?
Yeah, they were both named Malibu Express, so
So the only thing that had to do with the Malibu Express, why it was called, because the guy happened to live on a boat, a yacht called the Malibu Express.
in Malibu.
That's yeah.
And the reason it was named the Malibu Express was the most convoluted and dumb reason I've ever heard.
It was released in March of '85. Why was it called the Malibu Express?
Because his mom was afraid of flying and boats, so she always traveled by train. But then she died in a train accident, so she named it the Malibu Express in honor of her,
Oh, that's right.
which is
Yeah,
like silly.
Well, this movie, they do say that is even though that it's under the same because it's an Andy Sidaris movie, that none of the characters in this movie continue on.
I mean, we get what's his name, Cody Abilene instead of
Rowdy, yeah,
Rowdy.
and they state, yeah, it basically states that Rowdy and Cody are brothers. The only thing I can think of, it was kind of like it was like a soft porn Magnum PI ripoff, is exactly
With a lot of Dirty Harry ripoffs, also.
So, our main man, who is Cody Abilene, who has wavy hair and a mustache,
And a thick
very
Texas
thick
accent.
thick mustache. Yes,
I'd let him give me a mustache.
he was a private detective assigned the task of investigating who is behind the high-tech computer technology leaks to the Russians. Now, you would think the government would be involved by that, but no. This is just a simple PI who drives a red DeLorean.
Which I don't think existed.
I don't know how you get a red DeLorean.
Looking it up right now, actually, DeLorean
But
colors.
he is a ladies' man. He is banging chicks left and right in this movie.
They made him in red.
Did they make him in red?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I've never
Black,
seen
red, yellow, and of course the silver.
I've only seen the silver ones. I have never seen a painted DeLorean. So,
The more you know.
yeah, the more you know. So, Darby Hinton is our actor who played Cody Abilene, the ladies' man.
Our man.
Our man. He stays busy. He does a lot of. He looks like he does some video game voiceovers, and he just does a lot of different TV movies and B movies and stuff. But
He's a B movie star.
hey, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he stays busy, so as long as you can. Yeah, he was the epitome of. There he is in that. Like he's hit every. He was in a Magnum PI. Look at that.
I mean, this
Fall Guy.
I was not going to be surprised if you said that, just because how much this felt like a Magnum PI episode with all the extra boobs and sex.
Hunter, Jake and the Fat Man, Knots Landing. He hit them all. Lois and Clark. Yeah. So he's a private detective, and he's been hired to find out who's leaking computer secrets to the Russians. And much like we found out with Rowdy Abilene in Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Cody can hit the outside of a bar.
If it's moving, if it's sitting still, you can hit it. But remember, if it's moving.
Yes, because he shows up. Okay, so he's a private detective, but he shows up at CIA headquarters and goes to the shooting range
with some awesome, an awesome freaking cow leather briefcase.
Is a cowhide
Briefcase for his like Magnum 500 Magnum revolver.
It's like a 357 Magnum.
Six shots, and he just so confidently fires at the moving target and can't hit it. And then he's like, "I'll see you next week," and just walks off.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So he goes from there straight to Willow Springs, which is a racetrack, and where he encounters his first female of the movie. And what is her name, Chris?
The best name ever, June Knockers.
With an H.
With an H.
Knockers. June Knockers.
And let me just tell you, she has some knockers.
She gets right out of her Bell Race Star racing suit, and it just is topless immediately. There's no Nomex underwear. There's nothing. And so we figured out. So 450 into the movie, that's credits and all, is the first shot of nudity, right? But there were 1:45 of credits. So 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the movie, there was nudity. They just set the precedence for the rest of the film with June Knockers. I mean, he goes from there to back to the Malibu Express, where a couple of women are docked next to him, and of course they're showering naked.
And he's banging them, of course, because our man Cody Abilene gets around.
He's a male whore. But then, while he's out and about and banging chicks and shooting his gun, he comes upon these 3 bumbling redneck idiots that are straight out of Hee Haw.
The best quote, those 2 girls that pulled up next to him and slipped next to him. I got the quote right here.
Please do the quote. Yeah.
We understand you're a private investigator and wonder if you would investigate our privates. I'm going to use that as a pickup line at some point, maybe. I don't know. But I got to use that at some point. I think Kimberly would smack the shit out of me if I tried that. Or she'd laugh and just, kick me in the balls. But go ahead.
So the Buffington family, which is 3 people basically, and all they want to do is street race. So first he races his DeLorean against a Fiero, which I don't know what the BHP of a Ferrari, a DeLorean or a Fiero is.
All I know is
I can't imagine a Fiero. I can't imagine a Fiero beating a DeLorean, but I could be wrong.
They might have done some things to it, or Cody Abilene just doesn't know how to drive.
Well, that guy's a master mechanic, the Buffington guy, right?
Oh yeah, the random redneck in the middle of California.
Yes,
L.A.
like
basically.
like literally straight out of Hee Haw. So, then he goes to see that woman, and was it her son? Is it her son and daughter-in-law and niece, right?
Yeah.
Live together with her. She's been injured. She has a broken leg. And she has Shane.
Something. She's like royalty or something, because they always call her Lady.
Yeah, let's see what her name was.
I forget what
it is. I'm going to pull it up right now. It is. I should have wrote it down.
I didn't think about writing it down.
Lady Lillian Chamberlain.
Yeah, she's some sort of royalty or something. They never really explained why she's like lady whatever.
Lady Lillian Chamberlain is her name. Yes. So, um, so her son, daughter-in-law, and niece live with her, along with Shane. Shane's her butler, which is actually, if anybody has ever seen Bachelor Party, he is Nick the Dick from Bachelor Party. That's where I know him from. So, Shane's got some dirt on the son, and he's trying to extort money out of him while Shane owes $30,000 to somebody, right?
I think it's the mob because he has like a gambling debt or something.
Yeah. And so, meanwhile, Shane is banging the daughter-in-law at the same time. But then he's like banging the niece, but he like rapes the niece. Like it was like a disturbing.
Yeah, that was hard to actually watch.
It was kind of disturbing. So he goes in and he forces her. She's taking a shower. So he's got a camera fetish too. He like videos and takes pictures of
Everything.
of everything of his conquests. So he forces her to have sex, but then she's like really into it for some reason. First she's like, no, don't touch me, no. Well, okay. So then she has sex with him, and then he takes a picture and then leaves, and then she's mad at him. So we know the kind of person that Nick is, and that the daughter-in-law is cheating on the husband or the son of Lady Chamberlain, her son, because he dresses up like a woman. So
is it? I could, if I could speak. Did we ever figure out if he's the same guy from the next movie, The Crossdresser? Because they're both named Steven.
I know, but they said that there was no combination of like.
Oh.
Let's see here. His name was Steven.
Yeah, I'm on IMDb right now looking it up.
That's what I was looking for.
I don't see him.
No, it's Stuart.
Stuart, never mind. The guy in Hard Ticket was Steven.
Okay, but it's not the same guy, Michael
It's
Andrews?
Not the same guy.
Okay, darned. Well, we thought. So,
he turned to a life of crime after he got ousted. That would be a great story.
He did what?
I was making a joke how he turned to a life of crime after he got ousted as a crossdresser.
He did, but they keep bringing up the whole movie. They're bringing up the Russians and computers, and aside from the first 5 minutes of the movie, you don't hear anything about Russians or computers. The whole movie. We don't know how the Russians are getting their secrets.
Until the end. And then they make this long convoluted thing of how
it's like a whole Scooby-Doo wrap up.
Yeah. That's what it felt like, except it was a softcore porn.
It was very so. Meanwhile, so throughout this whole movie, so he's shooting at people, and so don't forget, so he's going up against those hoodlums, right? Because
the three muscle dudes.
No. Was it the same time? So what happens is, so Nick the Dick, or what's his name? Shane. Shane gets murdered.
Oh yeah.
But he takes a picture of the person who shoots him, and so
he's falling over, dying with a bolt in his head, but he can still pick up his camera and take a photo of him.
And then he stumbles outside while he's carrying a TV. I still ain't figured that one out yet.
Neither have I.
So Cody Abilene's the private detective, and he disturbs the whole crime scene. Then he steals the film out of the camera. And somehow the bumbling idiots figure out that he has the film. So
the cops never figure it out, though. You know, they never check for prints. But that's probably because he sleeps with the detective.
He's just sleeping with the detective. Yeah, he's banging the detective. So he's banged June Knockers. Then the other woman, I think she was like an undercover agent. Was that what she was?
Yeah, she was like a CIA agent.
Yes, she's banging her, and he's banging the police officer.
don't forget, Lady whatever is feeling him up at dinner.
No, the niece was feeling him up
Oh,
at
was it
dinner.
the niece? I thought it
I
was
think it was
the.
the niece.
Oh, because I was like, I bet if she was not in that wheelchair, he would have banged her too.
Well, that's true. Um, what else do we got going here? Oh, did he? They go out. They come after him, right? So they shoot up his car, which I don't. He parks his DeLorean. We never see the DeLorean for the rest of the film because it has car problems. So he gets
You
these
never
shitty.
tell.
He gets these shitty cars from people. So they shoot up his car and say happy trails, and they like leave him. Like he takes off running. So when he takes off running, he ends up onto this car lot where there's this hot, sexy sales lady, right? And he says,
I
"I
forgot
need
about.
I need the fastest thing on this lot." So she takes off her top and exposes her chesticles and says, "Sugar, I'm the fastest thing on this lot." So does he bang her too to get a
Yeah,
car?
he bangs her to get a car. Can we also can we talk about how he goes whenever he needs information or like to call someone else, instead of calling them or calling,
He
a
calls her.
regular operator, he calls a freaking sex line. And she always has the right hat for the right time. If he's on the boat, she's got a captain's hat. If he's like in a helicopter, she's got I don't know. She always a cowboy hat. She always had the right hat for what she was doing.
Cowboy hat when he had a cowboy hat on. Yeah. And like the people in the sex talk, like they were like, like sitting next to each other, they're all like in uniform. Like there was a guy in bondage outfit. There was a topless girl there, another topless girl. She was half topless or she would start molesting herself while she's talking to him. So, and let's not forget, um, he has he internal monologues quite a bit.
Yeah. No, well, hold on. He's using a tape recorder, but
But
it's all internal monologue.
it's all internal monologue. Yes, but Magnum PI did internal monologue.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I know what you're thinking. He would do that, and he would do these little monologues during the TV show. So I bet you that's where they got that from.
Yeah.
And now, while the soundtrack is not as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii, there's an awful lot of freaking banjo music in this movie. I don't know what banjo music has to do with Texans in California, but um, it's just I mean there's even a part when did Regis and Joy show up? They thank at the end credits. They thank Regis and Joy. A special appearance by Regis and Joy Philbin.
Oh yeah,
It's
the dude that got killed, Shane. He uh
always
he was
going through his
watching
movie.
Regis and Joy just randomly, like before he got killed. Like he turned on Regis before he got killed, and then he's like, he said some quote. I couldn't pick it up because he kind of mumbled it. He said something and then turned on like the recording of him having sex with the niece or one of the girls. One of his blackmail videos, and he's
Oh,
just sitting there
that's
kind of
right.
touching himself to it.
And then Regis, while he's taking the videotape in and out, Regis and Joy are on the TV screen. She says, "Hey, this is Regis Philbin." So, I mean, I don't know what Regis Philbin was back then. Was he a TV host?
I mean, I don't honestly, I don't even know how Regis got popular.
For Regis and Kathy Lee.
Oh, I don't know, but did
Which
they
now
did they
Kelly and
allow him to use?
they had to have, or either they shot that just for the movie.
Which would have been weird. Like how did Andy Sidaris pull that off? Like
Well,
Regis,
Regis wasn't like big Regis like he was, you know. You
like
knew who Regis. I knew who Regis was, but I don't know why I knew who Regis was as a kid.
all I know, the only reason I know who Regis is because of Regis and Kelly.
Okay, well, that's what I said. I don't know who. I don't know why I knew who he was before he was on that Regis and
Oh,
Kelly
okay.
or Regis and Kathy Lee or anything. But yeah, he did do. Meanwhile, so while he's running around and you got henchmen coming after him, and you got people getting murdered and topless women and sex all over the place, we have there is not one Russian in this movie.
No.
Nobody is Russian. There's all kinds. He steals Dirty Harry lines. He says, "Go ahead, make my day." Um,
How many did I shoot? 5 or 6?
5 or 6. Do you feel lucky, punk? Um,
Can we talk about how they can't outrun a so there's a scene they chase them to they go to back to the racetrack to develop some film because they can't take it somewhere else because it's got dirty pictures on it or somewhere else or something. And then the three goons follow them, which are complete muscleheads. Like when you think steroids, it's these guys, except for the head one, which is like your standard mob goon, bumbling goon. And they're just going through the freaking racetrack, shooting everything up, killing random people on bikes. And then they steal a helicopter to chase after Cody and Knockers when they're running away in the race car.
they're running away in her race car. Yes,
And she's getting all hot and bothered and
in the race
molesting
car.
him in the race car when they're being shot at.
But how does she distract the henchman?
Oh, she flashes them. This movie did
This,
not know what it wanted to be.
okay, so okay, so okay, so this is the movie that 16-year-old Chris would have watched on like late night HBO or Cinemax while his parents are in bed. This is when this is a movie. So this is how it would go down in the 80s, okay? Because this movie came out in 85. So by 87, 88, it's going to be on HBO, late night HBO, right? Or late night Cinemax.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how it goes down. So you either you record it because it comes on at like 1 or 2, depending on what time it comes on. If it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can get away with recording it. But you record like a movie. You're like, oh, I'm recording this movie, and it's the movie before it, which is like a PG movie, and then you run the tape an extra for 2 hours so you can get this movie too. So that's what you would do, and then you would just fast. But here's the thing: or you would just if it came on like at midnight, 1 o'clock, mom and dad would be in bed, so you would just stay up and sneak downstairs or stay up. Oh, I'm watching Letterman, and not watch Letterman. You'd be watching this, but you fast forward through all of the movie just to get to the dirty parts. This is what 16-year-old Chris would do. But this is like half the movie would have been the nudity. I mean, I don't know if I could have got away with watching this one on videotape because there was so much nudity in it. She's flashing people to pull over. June Knockers is. She's flashing people to distract them. And then can we talk about how the muscle steroid-ridden men cannot carry a gun properly?
You can tell they've never touched a gun in their life. Like they're sorry.
All right. Are you having a coughing fit?
Yeah, randomly.
Cheeto?
No, French fry.
Okay.
They're the bumbling goons that you'd see in like an 80s movie. It's an 80s movie that had never touched a gun in their lives, and they never gave them any training. They're like, hey, just run around with this gun and shoot randomly and yell, quirky one-liners.
Well, let's not forget they shot the henchmen come after him and the lady cop. So they were banging, and the henchmen come after him. So they get in a gunfight and they hide in the shower, and that's when he says, "Make my day." Now he's got on a pair of pants, and she has on a wet T-shirt and panties, and she's running around chasing after this henchman. She shoots. He's shooting the henchman and misses because he can't hit anything. She shoots him. While she shoots him, 2 blood stains pop up after the first shot, and then he gets shot a second time. So I guess it was, that was just bad editing. I'm guessing.
That's not the only bad editing. Can we talk about how bad some of the voice syncing was?
Well, when he was talking into to the recorder, there was the voice.
No, not even that. When he was talking to the girls on the boat, when you first see them, they're not syncing their lips. And there's a few other points in the movie. But can we talk about how it seems to be a running theme in these movies? At least this one and Hard Ticket, that they just give them random guns, like just any random gun they can find, like in a prop. Like the henchmen are running around with 22 survival rifles. The ones you put in like the back of your car if you're going for a trip or something, or in like a plane if you're a bush pilot if you crash.
Right.
And it's like, wait, this guy's running around with a 44 Magnum or a 357 Magnum, and you're expected to have a gunfight with them with a 22 long rifle.
And those henchmen. Okay, so the henchmen go after. Let's go
There's a
back
lot of
to.
henchmen that
There's
were
a
left.
lot of henchmen, and so before, all the way before when they get in the race car, so they have this big shootout at the racetrack. It's how they get in the race car, and so the greasy henchman, he wants to throw a hand grenade and shoot at everybody, and he just shoots some random guy on a pit bike, which is just a scooter really, but he shoots some random guy there, but what happens is they get this guy and get him in a helicopter. And he's like, "You better find these people or I'm going to shoot you and kill you." And of course, which made sense. And I was thinking the same thing. Like one of the henchmen, the greasy muscle henchman in the back seat was like, "If you shoot him, who's going to fly the helicopter?"
And
And I did find out that it said Harry Haas, helicopter pilot. That guy's real name was really Harry Haas. So there you go.
great, character design. What do we call you? Your name's Harry Haas? All right, Harry Haas. That's your
No,
name.
that's his real name.
I know, it's just funny.
But where do they get a helicopter rental next to, unless I don't know if they've got helicopter rentals next to Buttonwillow, or not Buttonwillow, but Willow Springs out in California. But they land, they get ahead of the car, the henchmen do, with the helicopter, and the henchmen get ahead of the car. And um, so they get out of the helicopter, and the helicopter pilot takes off, which genius. So they're out there in the middle of nowhere. So uh, our hero Cody Abilene hits the guy with all the hand grenades hanging off of him, and likes to shoot people, and he blows himself up because he gets hit by the car. So we see another, uh, like this guy just gets closed, and another dummy gets blown up, kind of like the dummy in the Hard Ticket to Hawaii. They got blown up with
The
the rocket launcher.
the skateboard guy.
Yeah. So,
I
but
don't know. This movie was not as good
it
as
was
Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
it was not good at all. And then
The only
we
reason
go back. Well, he thinks so. So what it boils down to, it has to do with her, the Lady Chamberlain's son, right? He's the one that's leaking the Russians the secrets.
No. The guy her daughter is investing with is
Oh,
leaking
that's right.
secrets.
Yes, and she was banging Nick the Dick, or Shane, should I call
Yeah.
and so Cody Abilene did get the film developed, and he thought that it was the niece who shot Shane or Nick the Dick, and um, um, so he had that blown up because she's got a reason, because she hated him anyway, and he kind of raped her, sort of, kind of, in the shower, so she kind of had a motive to kill Shane, but he blew up the picture. And it ended up being the CIA lady, right?
Yeah, in the end, he found out it was actually the CIA lady disguised as the daughter.
Right, that he was banging.
Yeah.
He was banging her. But so they go through this whole Scooby Doo thing, and he explains the whole thing out. But as they show each woman, he like she escaped to Hawaii. Like, why would she escape to Hawaii? There's extradition from Hawaii to back to California. Why didn't she go to, like, Mexico? She escaped to Hawaii, and she's like, "I know you'll figure it out. I know that you see who it is, me in the picture." But every person they show, so they show the cop, and then they show the daughter-in-law, then they show the niece, and then they show the girl that he was, the spy chick who was, but they're all topless in this montage of all these people.
It's every topless scene that they had with the character.
Of course, along with June Knockers as well. So, It is not a. It is not. It kind of was boring. It's kind of dragged on. I don't recommend it. It has nothing to do with. Now we're excited about the next movie,
Picasso Trigger.
Picasso Trigger, because it is a true sequel to Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
It's
We
actually got
probably
the two
could have.
girls from
We
Hard
probably
Ticket.
could have skipped this because this one had nothing to do with the rest of the movies other than it was Cody Abilene versus Rowdy Abilene. So the Abilene connection is there. And the fact that it was an Andy Sidaris movie.
And it's got the same boat, so
Yeah,
it's like the same universe, but not.
it is like the same universe, yes. But it's, I would give it about a 2. 16-year-old Chris on the nudity scale would give it about an 11 out of 10. So
Well, let's be honest, more than 11. It would have been in like a 20.
it would probably be a 20. You're right. So I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start rating the nudity scales based on 16-year-old Chris for our movies. I think I'm going to start doing this, starting with this movie. This would be a 20 out of 10 for nudity because half of the movie is just naked women. So 16-year-old Chris back in the 80s would have been pretty excited about that. So, don't watch it unless you want to watch just a bunch of topless women and really, it's just a bad movie. I mean, comparing it to Hard Ticket to Hawaii, that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
The cheesiness was fun.
It didn't take itself seriously.
No, the campiness was fun. Well, this didn't really either, but
No,
it just
but
wasn't.
it didn't have the same.
I do like the fact that Andy Sidaris sticks with the fact that um, we talk Russians in this movie. We never see the Russians. We never see anything that has to do with computers being stolen. Much like Hard Ticket to Hawaii, we had a drug dealer that we never saw. We never saw drugs
Until like the end when he goes and kills the drug dealer at the end. Or like the big bad drug dealer, I should say. But it's not like this one that you never even see the Russians. It's you barely even deal with the whole Russian thing.
No, not at all. So,
Anything else you
I
want
don't
to say about this movie other than don't watch it?
don't watch it unless you're a 16-year-old kid. But you can see 16-year-old Chris didn't have internet with porn at my fingertips. So
I was gonna say 16-year-old kids now have other things.
yeah, they have other things. So don't even watch it for that. But I will say that the girls in this, if you're all natural, then this is the way to go. These girls are natural. They're not. Except that one. That was Sybil Danning. I think she might have had a boob job back then.
I don't know.
But no,
but we
I
have
have nothing else to say on this. It was just horrible.
let's go on to some other news. Well, we don't really there's not much news this week, which kind of sucks. We're not really going to talk March Madness because it's not Selection Sunday hasn't happened yet. It'll happen later today.
My only announcement is that, much like Kanye and Kim, we have now heard that J-Lo and A-Rod have broken up. So, for those of you who have a crush on Jennifer Lopez, now's your chance. She's vulnerable. So,
she's collecting engagement rings like Thanos is collecting the Infinity Stone. I will not take credit for coming up that one. I saw it on Facebook.
But it's the truth.
Mm-hmm. The only real news this week, the only real big thing happening this week that I know of. Oh, I guess I have a quick review for. Did you ever watch Paradise PD, the Netflix animated show?
I saw the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Well, season 3 came out on Friday or Thursday. It sucks. Don't even watch it. Season 3
is that the one with the dog?
Yeah, the talking dog. The
yes.
dog that's addicted to drugs. Season 1 and 2 are pretty funny. They're turn your mind off. But season 3 is like, I grew up on South Park and Family Guy, but they just take the like dirtiness to another level, and I just don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Like they're making like Mr. Hanky's funny, but the jokes they make in Paradise PD are like, really? I don't know. It's dumb. This season 3. Um, but other news this week, the on the 18th is the Justice League Snyder Cut.
That's in what days that come out?
The 18th, which is
Friday.
Thursday.
Oh,
We should watch
Thursday.
that on Friday.
Well, let me check my schedule. Hang on.
Let me check my schedule. I got nothing going on.
I've got nothing.
Um,
We might be able to do that. Yeah.
yeah, you can either walk across the hall, come over here, or I can walk across the hall and go over there.
It don't matter. To this time.
But I'm excited for the Justice League movie, the Snyder Cut, because I'm a DC fanboy, as probably most of the people here know. We've talked about DC before, and
Is
I'm a big
it
fanboy.
4 hours long?
I don't know. Let me look that up really quick. But so far, yeah, 4 hours and 2 minutes long. Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh my God, that's like longer than. That's like just 2 hours longer than Godfather. Like when they combine the two Godfather movies.
I'm gonna need some alcohol and pizza to get through this one.
Yeah, we're gonna need some food and drinks for sure.
But early reviews are it's really good. Like I'm seeing some early reactions, like fans that got to see it early and they're all liking it. Of course, not spoiling anything, but apparently it's actually got some comedy in it. It's what Snyder actually wanted the film to be like, and not what Josh Whedon. Was it Josh Whedon that came in and changed it?
I think Joss Whedon did come in and change.
I hate Josh Whedon. Joss Whedon, other than the first Avengers movie, has really had nothing good in my opinion. And then he ruined Ultron. Ultron sucked. And everyone gives it so much credit for Firefly, but let's be honest, Firefly was not that good.
He did do Buffy the Vampire Slayer too. Let's not forget.
Which wasn't bad, but
I loved that show. That was Can't Miss T. Dude, back in the late 90s, it was Dawson's Creek and Buffy the Vampire Slayer every Tuesday night.
Do you have your Dawson Creek Trapper Keeper?
I had a Trapper Keeper. Don't be making fun of Trapper Keepers. I didn't have a Dawson's Creek Trapper Keeper. Was that from the South Park? Do you have a Dawson's Creek Trapper Keeper? They mentioned that in Cobra Kai that Johnny Lawrence, he had a Trapper Keeper. He liked it because it had fighter jets on it. I had a Trapper Keeper. Trapper Keepers were awesome.
One funny thing that happened with the Justice League was when Tom and Jerry released last week. They actually for the first hour or so the movie was out, it was actually the Snyder Cut playing.
That's what you were saying. So how does that even happen? I mean,
I don't know.
Tune in Tom and Jerry, and is it the beginning of it or is it the end of it?
The first hour of it was
really
an hour of it was like the first hour of Justice League. So it was like you sit your kids down, to watch some Tom and Jerry, and then you go cook dinner, and then all of a sudden they're screaming because Batman is fighting Superman or something. I just don't know how you mess that up. But then again, I don't really know much about coding or anything that goes on behind the scenes.
I don't either. God, 4 hours, dude. We're gonna have to start that movie early.
So far, I don't work on Friday, so.
All right. Well, I'm off at 3:15, so we can start it. We need to start it like at 5 or 5:30.
Order a pizza halfway through to take a break.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, order pizza halfway through. Yeah, and that's gonna be a long
break from the TV.
It's gonna be a long night. That's the night we watched the Godfather movies. Well, 2 of them. There's 3 of them.
I don't like the Godfather.
Shut up! There's nothing wrong with the God. You're a loser. I'm just kidding. They made one. So when they did the Godfather, I saw it on HBO. It's called Godfather Epic, and they showed both movies. They combined both movies in chronological order because Godfather 2 would go. So they did the Godfather, right? So when they did the Godfather 2, they go back to where Vito Corleone came to America and how he started his empire, and De Niro was Corleone. Vito Corleone, right?
Yeah.
As he was the young Vito Corleone, where Brando was the elderly Corleone. So they combined them, where you would start with Godfather 2, and it would go up to a certain point, and it would show all that, and then, but also in the Godfather 2, it was after the Godfather. So you had Michael Corleone and you had Fredo, and so it would intermingle back and forth between Godfather 2, Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Godfather. It was like 6 hours of a movie. But it was so good. I love the way they did it in chronological order. And I know Godfather 3 gets a lot of hate, but it's not that bad of a movie. It's not good. It's not great, but it's good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't find myself wasting my time. Like I felt more. I've wasted my time with other movies like Avatar than I
Yeah.
did. Than I did. Then I felt like I wasted my time with The Godfather 3.
I remember
So
when I first saw Avatar, I liked it, and like not even like it's kind of like Last Jedi. When I was watching it, I liked it, but then on like the drive home, I'm like, that was a waste of time.
I was thinking about that today, and I'll go with Avatar. We went to see Avatar, and we were by the time the movie got over, we were so pissed. We was like, God, we should have went to see The Blind Side a second time. It'd been so much more entertaining. But I was thinking about that today because when we went to see Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
When that movie ended, I was excited. I was like Star Wars excited. I was like, oh my God. The way it ended, I mean, it just sealed it up. It was that movie's so good. And I've yet to see a movie do that for me since. That's the last movie where it just grabs you by the balls and goes, yes. And uh, yeah, even the Rise of Skywalker and all those, no. They were good. They buttoned it up. I just think they were in a hurry, and I
Well, the
know you
problem
don't like.
is like Force Awakens. I will still say is really good. Last Jedi sucked, and then we could do this, have a long conversation about this if we really wanted to. But Rise of Skywalker was probably could have been better if they just went with what Last Jedi was doing instead of trying to fix all of Last Jedi's issues.
Right.
But they tried to fix issues rather than make a movie. And so they just got a bunch of scrambled things, and it was just didn't feel like anything was happening.
Well, I mean, we can discuss this all day again,
Yeah,
like we always do. We always turn to Star Wars, but
because
I
it's
guess
easy. It's an easy
when your
discussion,
life is based around Star Wars,
right?
I mean that's my basically that's my whole life from my kid years. Like okay, so this is the truth. So my kid years, which was 70s and 80s, because 77, 80, and 83 was Star Wars, right? To my I'm not young adult, but I was an adult. So when did that come out? 2099, 1999 was the first one, right? Or was
Episode 1.
episode one?
Yeah.
So it was what 99, 02, and 05, 04, 03?
Yeah, something like that.
So there's like your middle years, and then bam, the rest of them came out in my 40s. So that's basically been my whole life.
Hmm.
Has been Star Wars movies and Star Wars
Well, I
T-shirts and
remember
Star
being
Wars
shown
movies.
the original series on VHS when I was little, and
I've
then
still got them on VHS. I've got a copy of the original movies before Lucas went and screwed him up with the stupid shit that he had added later.
I love how
Special
South Park
edition.
makes fun of that.
Well, it was true. Do we
Hmm.
really need extra dinosaurs and Jawas doing stupid stuff in Mos Eisley? And do you really need a window that looks out in Cloud City for uh, uh, Lando to walk in front of? No, leave it alone. Then that kick in the balls that he did when he put friggin' Hayden Christensen's head on Anakin Skywalker's body at the end of Jedi. He does. He did that too. And why would you do that? Because when everybody else died, they looked the same. They didn't go back to being young again. They look like how they did when they died, right?
Yeah.
Yoda wasn't young Yoda. Yoda was old, decrepit Yoda. Obi-Wan wasn't young Obi-Wan. He was old Obi-Wan. You
They
can't
kind
add
of
his.
they kind of explain it in one of the books, which is dumb because I don't want to have to read a book to understand what's
So
happening.
do they say that when he died as a Jedi?
Yeah,
Oh,
basically
that's.
that was when he died as a Jedi.
Oh,
But then
just
how did he
shut up.
turn into a Force ghost? He never practiced that ability, like Obi-Wan and Yoda and Qui-Gon. If you count Qui-Gon,
Right.
because they
See,
learned
that
from
pisses me
Qui-Gon.
off.
He should have never turned into a Force ghost. I liked it how it was, but they didn't need to do it either.
Well, it was that's the way it was originally. Like Anakin was there, He was his dad. He wasn't
Yeah.
young. He would have never recognized. Well, I guess he would have never recognized him anyway because he didn't know what he looked like. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I just didn't like the. On VHS. I have the original trilogy and the special edition trilogy all
And
on.
they also
VHS.
never they changed the Emperor to look like what's his face,
Yes,
which
they
I'm
did.
okay with. I'm okay with them changing
No,
the.
no, 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 no.
Yes. Why?
Oh no,
Tell me.
no, 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 no! You just can't do that. You can't just be changing people just because it fits. No, just leave everything as it was. Those movies are perfect as they are. There was no reason to go back and screw them up. CGI was the worst thing that Lucas ever got his hands on.
Did you know Episode 1 has the most practical effects?
Uh huh. And it's killer. It's cool. It's awesome. But, Lucas had to go and screw him up. I'm just going to say it now. I don't even care. Leave him alone. And it is hard to find the original versions, even online, without the special
Yeah, I
edition
don't know
crap.
why he scrubbed them.
There's so many. I mean,
He
there's
pulled
so
a
many people.
Stalin. He, never wanted you to know they actually exist.
Right. I'm glad I have the VHS copies. I'm gonna have to find those one day. We'll have to watch those one day. And I'll have to hook up a VCR, and we'll have to watch them one day. In that whole shitty VHS format.
Yep.
So.
Oh, that's about all I have, though. I don't
That's
want to
all.
talk.
Do we have any shower thoughts since
I have
Mikey's not here?
I have a shower thought. I looked it up online, but I have one.
Oh,
If you
well,
solve a Rubik's Cube on another planet, it would count as a world record.
that's
Because I
true.
can go for anything on another planet. I could take the biggest shit on another planet if I wanted to.
I could stand on my head the longest on another planet.
There you go. And it'll have to be like 2 seconds.
That's right. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap that up with this. Of course, you can find us all on social media, which is Facebook and Twitter. Hoosier Nerds Podcast on Facebook and Pod Nerds at Pod Nerds on Twitter. And of course, you can find us on your podcasting platforms, which is Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and of course, you can find us on YouTube. So, thumbs down, guy. Go ahead and get over there as soon as we post this. Let you know, so you can give us a thumbs down again. We appreciate it, and we will keep you up to date on the Andy Sidaris library, but that will be put on hold because obviously we're going to be watching Justice League this week.
Hopefully a better movie.
Hopefully, but we will get back to the Andy Sidaris movies very, very soon. We'll keep you informed on the good and bad of everything Andy Sidaris, and you'll never have to wonder who's your nerds.
Tim does it so much better.